Hello ICS4C folks. This lesson is 2.5 on UML, which is Unified Modeling Language. Um, this lesson isn't going to be much of a note to take. You're going to end up with actually two different files that are UML diagrams based on a little piece of code, and hopefully you got this piece of code starwars.js. You went and got that from Edmodo, and I'm hoping that you also have uh, two programs fired up. And what we're going to do is we're going to make UML diagrams for this code on two different programs. The first one is Argo UML, and hopefully you got that installed and it's all in there nice. Argo UML is a creation tool that's it's pretty complicated, but and UML, there's all sorts of different types of diagrams. The the one that we're interested in is class diagrams, which are pretty straightforward to make. So in our code, we can see we actually have two classes, function Star Wars char and function villain. We have two classes. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create those. This is the new class. You see, you hover over and you can see what's going on here. There's lots of different tools. We're not going to use many of them. So new class, I click on that, and then I'm going to just put her down wherever. And when I click on that, there's lots of things that appear. Don't worry about most of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to um, choose a name there. Notice that I can either double click in that space. So this was Star Wars char. That's the name of my class. Click on it again, and the first line, that's all you put, is just the name of the class. The name of the class goes with whatever this name is. That's the name of the class. Star Wars char is the name of the class. Then next comes the keys or the property. So when I click in here, it says new attribute that's an integer. Well, and notice that if it's more convenient for you to click on this down here, we can. Well, what's one of our attributes? Well, one of our attributes is called type. Remember that the type in actually was just a way for us to construct the objects, that it's not one of the key names or attribute names. Type is the attribute name. So here or here, doesn't matter. I'll put in type. Then I've got it's not an integer, right? It's not an integer, so I could type this what it actually is, but what's nicer is I can just select this from a list. It's not a Boolean, it's not a Star Wars char, it's a string, right? It's going to be like human or robot or something like that. Good. Great. And notice that's type, and it's type string. And we're not gonna worry about the multiplicity. We're not gonna worry about any of this. Um, Notice what I can switch though. I can switch its visibility. We talked about visibility yesterday. Remember, the word this means it's a public attribute. So in my UML, this, and it's public, so that should be clicked on there. Perfect. I don't have to do anything else. But next thing is var name, and remember, var meant it was private. So whenever I get name in here, and I think I could probably add a new one this way. See, a new attribute. I could click on that button right there, or I think I can just press enter, and then a new one shows up. Is that true? Maybe not. Maybe I do have to go here, new attribute. Ah, there it is. I press that, new attribute, and then I click on that one, and I can either type in here or I'm going to put in the word name. And it was private. And I put private there, and that's going to change that. That means that's private. Okay? It doesn't show anything there, but it is set as private there. Notice that in our code, that's all of the attributes or keys. I've got more stuff in here, but those are methods, those are functions, and that's what goes into the third little thing here are the functions or methods that are hooked up. So in there, it says new operation. Well, it's not called new operation. The first one was called say hello. So I'm going to put in there say hello. And it says parameter return. Well, I don't think we need to worry about that. It is public, right? Because it's a this dot say hello. It doesn't return anything. I think there's a way for me to have it so I don't have to return that. Let's see. Parameter, and then there. Now it's not going to return anything, which is good. So I click back on there, and I'm going to make a new operation or a new method. And the last one was, one thing we talked about last time was when we make a variable private, often we like to have a way to access the name even though it's private. So on our UML, how does that work? Well, then it's called get name, and it actually returns something. It is public, so all of that looks great. This is the class diagram for the Star Wars char, but in my code, I've got another one, function villain. So that's another class called villain. So I'm going to make another new class. It's asking me where to put it. Another new class, and it's called villain. You're doing this as well, of course. And it has 3 attributes, all of them public. 3 attributes, all of them public, called, what are they called? It's called armor color, weapon, and side of force. Notice that actually has values, so I could actually assign that value in my UML if I'm smart. Notice that this I can add instant variables to. I could just click there, and it's going to add stuff for me. Armor color, and it was a string. Probably there's a way to give it a value, but we're not worried about that. And then now it's giving me an opportunity to make a new one. And so I'm going to make a new one called, what was it? It was weapon. Of course, only bad guys can have weapons. Well, we know that's not true, but that's okay. And it's a string. And I'm going to add another new attribute there. And this is, and all this is silly, of course, but side of force. And it's a string as well. And notice in my villain class, I have one function called sayQuote. I don't have to worry about the deals. The details. I don't have to worry about the details. I just have to worry about the method names in my UML. So here is a method name. They call them operations in this one. So this one was sayQuote. And does it return something? No, it does not return anything. So I'm going to get rid of that. And it's a public thing, so that's all good. The rest of the stuff, don't worry about it. Notice I can move this around if I'd like to. If I want to move that around, I can do that. What's next? Well, what's next is this line here is an important line. Remember, this villain.prototype equals new Star Wars char. That shows inheritance. That shows that villain is going to have all the stuff that Star Wars char has. So now how do I show that on my UML? Well, what I do is I use this right here, which is, it says new generalization. Okay, so new generalization, I can go from there to there, and that shows that all the stuff from Star Wars char is inherited by villain. I show it with that little line right there. That's how I show it. And that's it. This is my UML class diagram. This is class diagram. All the other ones are different diagrams. Case diagram, we've got sequence diagrams. All these UML ones we're not going to worry about. If you get into computer science in college or university, yeah, you might worry about these. But for this is it. So save up that. And notice if I wanted to get this picture in a different program, then I'd export that graphic. But for now, we can just save it. I'm not even going to bother saving it. You should have this and save it in your assignments, because I want to show you another UML drawing program, and this one's maybe a little simpler. You might like this one better. It's called Jink, which is a great fun word to say, Jink. And there are the things that we can make. Class, and I'm just going to put that there. And this is the one that I actually used to make the one from the note. Class Untitled. The class Untitled right there, I can change the word there. This is called Star Wars char. And then now the fields, which are like our keys, I'm going to add one called what we had type. Add that, and notice if I double down away it goes. I'm not sure where it went. Okay, there we go. View stack. I double clicked on it and something weird happened. There's our field, and I'm going to add also. I'm going to add what was it? Name, I think. Add that. That goes there. If I want to add methods, what methods do we have? We had say hello, add. We had get name was the other one, add. And that's great. And so that was it, I think, for our Star Wars chart. 2 attributes and 2 methods. On here, if I want to add another class, bam, there's another class. And I'll let you fill in the details there. It was villain. Class names, we usually start with a capital. But notice what I can do is I can say that we've got a link here. I think this is the way to link. No, that's not what I wanted to do at all. I'm going to delete that if I can. Delete. And here, what I can say is this extends, and I'm going to say that extends Star Wars char. And that, I'm surprised it didn't have a little line there. Usually it would have a little line, because that's what it means for inheritance, is that it extends one versus another. Okay, and this one may be easier to use, but certainly at least I had more success getting the little line drawn on there. And on the Jink one, the file save and all that stuff is pretty easy to use there too. So save. And there's the 2 different programs. You're going to get to choose whichever one you want for the homework. Okay, so save this as well. At the end of the note, you'll have the 2 different UML diagrams, one in Jink and one in Argo UML, and then a couple of exercises for homework. Okay, that's it.